We're going to go through the newspapers that we have, the headlines we have here. You have the daily graphic,
yes,
so why don't you take the lead?
So we start with that. Let's see what's happening. So this story has been making waves since, I think, about Sunday or so. U.S. lauds President for Peace in West Africa. So there's a picture there. The President Kufuor is welcoming Linda Thomas Greenfield. She's a United States ambassador to the United Nations. And she's been giving him some props, some accolades.
Okay.
And you can read that on pages 24 and 25 of the Daily Graphic. No immediate reshuffle. Again, the president is in the news.
Yeah.
His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo says he does not plan to reshuffle his cabinet at any point. You know, he doesn't see it happening. He says his ministers are doing well. You should have heard that. You know, the conversations around on Eyewitness News yesterday with Marasanda on Citi FM. But story on page 16 of the Daily Graphic. ECG uncovers 1,000 illegalities. That's on page 16. No comment. Sustainable Development Agenda. Nation needs workable plan, says Dr. J. Bawa. And he's a former ambassador to the United States of America and Japan. Of course, he was representing Ghana. And that's what we have in the Daily Graphic this morning.
All right, on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, ECG clamps down on power theft, begins nationwide checks and audits cutting of illegal connections. And this is on the same story that on the graphic, and a lot of illegal connections in this country, you know. But it also means that that space has been left unwatched for a long time.
There are too many loopholes.
That's actually what it means.
There are too many loopholes.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just stay on this briefly.
Yeah.
How is it that somebody moves into a house, not a house that they own,
Yeah.
a place that they've rented, perhaps a single room,
Yeah.
you know, a chamber and hall
Yeah.
kind of thing. Then they go and buy some cable, go and get some pliers, and they are connecting wires to the mains on the street.
Yeah.
And we see it happen all the time.
Yeah.
And we too, we don't say anything when we see it.
Well, of course.
You know?
Well, but for the longest time, we've run a system where there's no, even if you wanted to report, there's no one to report to.
Well, you're
see?
right.
So
you're right.
now
But
that
now
there
here
is,
we
we're
are.
not used to that.
Now
you know?
here we are.
Yeah.
And you see, it's very easy to think that these things sort of affect us. But you see, there are leakages. Look, I mean, it's a wire.
Yeah.
It's like a river and its tributaries,
Yeah.
right? Or if you're running water through a hose and there's a hole, the water will pass through the hole. So you lose some of it going through to the main end.
No, you're right.
Of,
this
of
is
the
what
hose.
it is.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
So your current falls, it's low, or you have interesting cuts
So
that you don't understand.
people make complaints like, oh, I don't know, but this our area, there's always power fluctuations.
Yeah.
It's not stable. But what you don't realize that there's a ripple effect to a lot of illegal connections that take place within certain enclaves. Okay, between transformers, there's all the wiring that goes on there, and there are leakages.
Exactly.
You know, and so look, electricity has to pass through a certain wires of certain resistance.
Yeah.
So if the resistance is not up to scratch, you're having problems right there.
And you end up paying
potential
more.
fires,
Yeah.
all kinds of things, you know. Anyway, so President Katsot for construction of 2.5-kilometer Yendi dual carriageway. Government disappointed in S&P's economic downgrade. This is coming from the Finance Ministry. I don't know why they are disappointed, but anyway. COVID-19 updates. Ghana Health Service administers 18.5 million COVID-19 vaccine doses. And this is the Ghanaian Times that we have saying all of these things.
Okay, let's move on to the Chronicle. Massive rot at GSFP. Cover of former minister's boy. That's how they put it. Blown. Cover of former minister's boy blown. Mrs. Kwashiga promises full-scale probe. And so you can read that story on pages 2 and 3 of the Chronicle. Kitasi chief calls for peace in the Kwapim Ridge. And there's a picture there of Nana Kwesi Ankra III. He's the Kitasi Hini. And he's calling for some peace in the Kwapim area. Oforiata's ministry and Oforiata's ministry mad over S&P global ratings, and there's a picture of the finance minister there. I mean, for me, if the ratings are saying what you don't like, then let's
do better. Easy. It's not a
That's
problem.
what
Do
we
better.
have to do. Guns boom on the mountains, and you can see that that's on page 8. That's quite disturbing for me. It's quite disturbing. So that's the Chronicle here this morning.
All right. So the front page of the Finder newspaper, we have La Bianca expose. OSP directs wider investigation into customs operations. New Lands Act to sanitize land acquisition. This is coming from Mr. Datsun. We also have ECG identifies more than 1,000 illegal connections in Legon district alone. Legon district, okay. GPHA commissions for 4 million Ghana City sports complex for Tema New Town. Shortcut for Yendi Road dualization. And Northeast YEA multipurpose office inaugurated. And that's it for the Finder.
Okay, we have the new Crusading Guide as well. OSP grabs 1,074 Ghana cedis for state, and it indicts a council of state members. So you can see that on pages 3 and 10 of the new Crusading Guides. CVM boss tackles credit rating agencies over questionable ratings. Interesting one there. There's also Cocoa Road contractors fights government over 14 billion Ghana cedi outstanding debt. And then, of course, there's new Kwabinia Musuku chief promises more developments. That is on the front page of the new Crusading Guide.
All right, and just before we go for sports review, Daily Guide says President commissions legal aid and reform funds tomorrow. No reshuffle, Ekufuado says. And Mahama Yariga supports EC to use Ghana card for voting. Government hits back at SMP and GRA